Here. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to introduce my guest online, Marvin Bell, who is the owner of Tampa 2 Security, and Netta Rochelle Roberts, who's my business. So thank you. I'm a member of the cohort, and this is my husband, Stan, and there's probably some people online.
Very good. Welcome, man.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Candy Stevens. I'm a member of the cohort. This is my significant other, Marcel.
All right. Welcome, Marcel. Would you like to say anything, Stan?
It's a pleasure to be here and meet some of you. I met some of you at the event when we did the walking tour.
Yeah.
It's good to see us.
Very good.
Well, here's what I would like to say. Basically, I haven't been a part of it, but when she comes home and speaks to me about everything that's going on, I felt like I've taken a journey with her, and like I'm about to graduate today as well.
Trey Johnson, I'm also part of the board this year. I see my mom on the screen, so I want
Brother Barrett, I'm sorry.
Just great to be here.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I mean, Sarah talks a lot, so I'm sure you guys. Mrs. Ransom.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Janet Ransom. My behalf to happy to be here this morning. As Jennifer said, I've not been here at all meetings, but this so congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Anything, Phil?
I don't think my fans are with me at the moment. I don't see them on the screen.
Okay.
For all those out there that love me, love y'all back.
We all love Phil. Jeremy, Deborah, anything? I know y'all getting ready for these Martin Luther King not having Jesus. So,
good right now.
all right. Deborah?
I'm good, thank you.
Sure.
Happy New Year, Mr.
Okay. My fellow board member, Mr. Ransom, anything?
Good morning. Congratulations in advance. Looking forward to you all having a great day.
Excellent. TLI Committee back. CT, Jalen, Courtney.
Well,
Did I get it right, man?
It was really close.
I'd just like to congratulate all of the cohorts this morning. You all did a wonderful job. It was marvelous watching you all grow. Since we're from the spot, I'll speak on the this corner of the table. I don't want my fellow members are going to speak up, but it was a blessing. Y'all really did y'all thing with those projects. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Don't let it stop here. Stay connected. Stay true to what you do and don't forget where you came from.
All right. Appreciate that. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and eat, and then once you guys get settled, we'll start the formal program. So if we can, let's start from this side, and gentlemen, as you know, the ladies go first. We'll start from this side and let you guys grab your food, and then as they get settled, we'll start on this side. All right. Thank you. We'll get started soon. All right, everyone. Hopefully, you know, my labor for the food this morning, I got up early and prepared. So if they're good, you know, I got a tip jar. So we'll go ahead and get started with our program. First, if he's available, Jalen Robinson, he'll come up and give our welcome, and we'll, for the committee members that are speaking, we'll follow the agenda as planned. So after Jalen, we'll have Deborah and Jeremy and so forth. so we'll follow the agenda. Mr. Robinson, give him a hand.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have come to an extraordinary milestone and celebration. These past 2 years have surely been ones for the books. Although I'm supposed to welcome you to this celebration on behalf of the Tampa Organization of Black Affairs Leadership Committee, I really would like to invite you to a life of service, development, and love for our community. This work isn't a one-step fix or a one-day event. It isn't an annual program or even an annual celebration. It's a lifelong journey in this thing called community. The most powerful piece of advice I can give you all is to stay connected, because not only does the community need you, but we as brothers and sisters in the work need you. But it's also about a mind shift. It's about understanding that it isn't about you, but more about what you can do for the people and the places you were called to serve. Your degrees will be nice on the wall. Your certificates will be also. But what is in your heart is what really matters. Stay true, stay you, let's build and welcome. Now I will introduce Ricky as he brings forth our next speaker.
So glad you did that because I would have had to myself. So we're moving the program right along. And we're going to get into our keynote speakers. And I'm going to tell you this is going to be a treat for you all because it shows exactly what TOBA is about. They understand it's not about where you start, but it's about where you finish. And they have done that by not only being committed to the development of the community, but the people and the future leaders within the respective communities. You're about to get a 2-for-1, but let me tell you what, the value that they're going to bring is everything but a discount. So I have the honor of introducing my fellow colleagues who were my cohorts, then they were the co-chairs, then they were liaisons, and now they're your keynote speakers. They show you exactly what it means to be dedicated to continuous incremental growth and just what you can accomplish by being dedicated to service. I'll tell you what, one is a sustainability strategist, the other is a 2-time author. And let me tell you what, both of them are spouses, both of them are parents, both of them have gone on different walks of life, but both of them have realized that there's a time when you need to sit and listen, and there's a time when you need to stand and speak. And when it's time to stand and speak, you be bold enough to use your voice with authority. And I'm just honored to say that I have watched their growth over the years and how they have gone from being meek to being bold, being brave, being courageous, just being able to speak the voice of what's going on within the community. The people who will inherit the earth are the people who are able to be responsible with that. And these people are the most selfless people that you will ever get. The most selfless people who are actually not doing it for their own self, but doing it because they know that Tampa has so much more to offer. He's from Nucio, she's from East Tampa. And we know that East Tampa and Nucio are areas that people have for many years diminished what their work was. But they now see that there is so much more potential. And this is the exemplification of what that is. East Tampa, Nucio, potential that is being fulfilled. So without further ado, I introduce to you the sustainability strategist herself and the return specialist himself, Mr. Jeremy Blunt and Mrs. Trebora Morales.
For that introduction.
We have been called to serve, not to be served. We are not to only serve when it is convenient, easy, when we've made it, once the kids get out of the house, or when everything is going our way, but even when times are difficult, when we're tired, and when we're overwhelmed. We have a calling to serve and to give despite what season we're in and what challenges we may be facing. While everyone has a purpose, I believe that each one of you here right now in this moment has a purpose to go above and beyond and really make a difference within the community. There is a reason why you were selected to be a part of the TOBA Leadership Institute and have the opportunity to research, learn, and develop opportunities to change our community.
One of the main things I've learned from TOBA is that information changes situations. Once we start and continue to pour into our community, everything goes and flows smoothly. We must bridge the gap between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and equip our people in our communities with the necessary tools and materials to succeed in life. I believe that this is our mission as servants and as leaders. TOBA has provided a platform for every individual in this room, and it's up to us. We must find a way to use it for the greater good.
Tampa needs leaders like us, leaders like you. Each of you are leaders within your own rights and has something unique to bring to the table. We have been blessed with various gifts that we're able to use to serve our community around us. Each one of those gifts are important, they are valuable, and they are needed. One common recurring theme from the final presentations was that some sort of community center is needed. That is because we need community and an area to be a hub to house a wealth of resources. You are the wealth of resources that must be leveraged as you continue to go forth within your journey of service.
5 years ago, I asked God to open my eyes and reveal my purpose to me. I prayed that whatever my purpose was, I wanted it to feel like scoring a touchdown in a big game. That's when I would know what my purpose was. I had to be able to identify and compare with something that I could feel from the inside out. That is when I would know that it was go time. For the last 5 years, I've been put in position to serve my community in numerous ways I couldn't even imagine. I've spoken to hundreds of kids sharing my story, volunteered with a bunch of nonprofit organizations. Every single time it feels like scoring a touchdown.
A recent reoccurring theme that I have discussed with my small group at church has been about service and our purpose and the difference between looking at it from an individual level that glorifies yourself versus the perspective of glorifying God. When we allow God to lead us to our purpose so that we can serve others, then that is when we walk in our true calling. And we're able to lead the life that He has designed for us, for His bigger plan, so that everything can work together as it is designed to. I have a 5-year-old son who has autism spectrum disorder, and from an early age has utilized a wealth of services from speech to occupational to behavioral therapy. My son is exceptional beyond belief, and I'm thankful for where he is today with all of the progress that he has made. However, he requires an interdisciplinary team to work closely together for his success. I like to believe that I can do everything, but I cannot. He needs all of his therapists, his teachers, and caretakers with their various backgrounds, specialties, and levels of education to meet him where he is. That's how we have to look at Palm River, University area, West and East Tampa, as we create these plans of successful, thriving neighborhoods. We have to communicate with each other our plans, ideas, and attempts that didn't go as planned, and work together to reach our goals. You need community to build community. Over these last few months, you have worked hard and you have showed up. That is noticed and appreciated. Our community is counting on you to continue to do just that. Keep serving, keep giving your time and efforts. We congratulate you for the work that you have done and for being a part of this process over these last few months. Remember that this is not a chapter ending, but one that is just beginning. I cannot wait to see what service looks like in each one of your lives in this current season and the seasons to come. Too often we limit ourselves, but as you have the opportunity during your presentations to use a wealth of unlimited resources, We must also think about that mindset daily. We shouldn't hold ourselves back, our gifts back, and our services that we bring to each other back because we aren't dreaming big enough. Those ideas that you have, go for them. Continue to reach out to this network because together there are endless opportunities of what you can all achieve within our community.
Thank you for sharing what you said. Since we're getting deep, I'm gonna get deep with y'all. I'm reminded by an individual that I was incarcerated with. We were exchanging stories back and forth. We both had unique stories. I remember telling him that how stupid I was for throwing everything away for quick money. I remember telling him that what he said next stuck with me. He mentioned a quote I'd never heard before, but it's a famous quote. I didn't hear it to that day. He said, "It's not how you start, it's how you finish." When we die, all that matters is the little dash in between our birthday and our death day. I started to think, what if God put me here for a greater purpose? What if football, my passion, was the vehicle to my purpose? I knew that in my community, I could relate and connect with most of the people in my neighborhood on a personal level. First, I had to prove it to myself. When I was reinserted and released from federal prison with a bachelor's degree, with my education on point, it was hard for me to get a job. It was hard for me to do what I went to school for. It was just hard for me. I was getting rejection. I was getting no's. It was hard. Where I come from, we were taught that there's only a couple ways out of this neighborhood: sports, prisons, being a rapper in the graveyard. I knew I could share my story with the youth, letting them know that there's more to life than sports, prison, rapping in the graveyard. For the guys I grew up with, my age, I would have to lead by example. I started doing community cleanups for 2 years, from 2019 to 2000, but now currently, we've been doing cleanups in my neighborhood with all the hard work and dedication. Keep Tampa Bay Beautiful has honored me with a sign in my neighborhood, a street sign of my name in my neighborhood, which I'm honored for. I was also rewarded the Perseverance Award by the Harrisburg County Sheriff's Black Advisory Council, which gave me more recognition and clout in my neighborhood. On top of that, I was chosen to co-host the Martin Luther King Leadership Breakfast, which was like the icing on the cake. TOBA has not only put me in position, they gave me confidence by accepting me to be in the inaugural TOBA Leadership Institute. The information I've received in the past 2 years, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all. The resources to access different avenues, it's a blessing to be here in this room with a bunch of professional leaders today. So once again, I would like to say congratulations again on your completion of the TOBA Leadership Institute class. And I'd like to leave one quote that stuck with me. I was actually listening to, this hit me like low key this morning. I was listening to one of Kobe Bryant speeches, and he said that one of his teachers told him, short and quick, rest at the end and not in the middle. Keep going hard no matter what, until the job is done. That's all I got. Thank you.
That's a hard keynote to follow, Jerry. I mean, you kind of left me up here. I just need to give you my notes. Listen, I am so inspired just by your story, Jeremy, just everything you went through. We started our 2020 cohort together with Trevora and Ricky as well, and it's so inspirational to see the growth of an individual, and we've all grown through TOBA. And I would be remiss if I did not say that the work that you have done in your community and everything that you have did in your community and all the awards that you received, they were very well deserved. So, you know, you mentioned a lot of things in your speech, you and your board, and it is about service. Community does build community. And when we forget who we are and we forget our purpose, we can't serve the next generation. And so I'd like to say thank you for your contributions to your community, and thank you, Trevora, because y'all have definitely put on for your city. You have. So thank you. Now, to our founders and board members, I am truly proud to be a part of the committee and to give light to your vision. This same vision has served as our guiding light. So thank you for building the bridge that as of today, 2 cohorts have had the privilege and opportunity to walk over. The bridge that you thought about years ago, we are now living that dream, and I thank you for that. So without further ado, cohort 2021, as I call your name, come forward to share some brief reflections of your experience and receive your graduate gifts. Now, before I call your name, I'd like to make mention, please go to the left after you receive your gift. And I have someone in the back saying brief. I'll reiterate brief reflections. But if you would, please go to the left so that you can have your picture taken. And moving forward, we'll get ready to start.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. First, I'd like to call Miss Morgan Blunt.
Woo! Morning, everybody. I wrote a few notes because I'm just like, I just can't get up here just start talking. So first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I could not have imagined that it was going to be any sort of process like this. And since the beginning in the interview, this intense interview that I actually was not expecting at all. The program was just as intense, but I'm so thankful to just be a part of this, of movers, shakers, and trailblazers. You all are so inspiring. And I'm extremely happy to have met so many business executives, community leaders, government officials, and I would have never been able to be in the room with so many different people with you all if it had not been for this institute. So thank you so much, and I am looking forward to all of the good trouble that I know this group will be getting into.
That's all right.
So
Good trouble.
Uh-huh.
Next up, we have Ivy Box.
I didn't really have anything prepared. I've actually been in the hospital the last week or so, tending to my mom. I actually came from the hospital, that's why I was a little bit late. But something in my spirit told me that I needed to be here. And when I first signed up for the TOBA Institute, I wasn't sure what to expect. And I'm pretty active, and I've been pretty active in the community and with a lot of organizations for years. So I wasn't sure exactly what more I could learn, but literally every session that we had, I learned something new. It opened my eyes, it expanded my mind, and I'm extremely grateful for the committee and everyone that's involved with TOBA for selecting me, because you all didn't have to. And I'm extremely excited to see the future of TOBA and everybody in the program, to see what we're gonna do and how we're gonna take over Tampa. So I look forward to that. And I just wanna leave everybody with my famous quote, the sky is not the limit, it's only the beginning. And I think TOBA is the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, we have Phelan Brown.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This was tough.
Right?
It's time to be honest, very tough. But again, none of us know what to expect. I almost was not going to apply. I got an application in about 3 minutes before the deadline, and I'm so grateful I did. Just to meet everybody, support, growth I've had within myself in the last 6 months away from TLI. Hang out with some of these gentlemen, mentoring the kids, and people keep asking me, why are you doing so much? And not only does it feel good, but it's necessary. And I think that's all we have to remember. So let's stay together, support each other, and stay with the movement.
Right now.
Raven, I like that. I like that. He said something, brief intermission, he said something that really stuck with me.
Okay.
And it stuck to my spirit because he said 3 minutes before the deadline, he applied. So I challenge you all, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you are pausing on, I challenge you to take that next step because look at where he is now, the impact that TOBA has had on his life. So utilize that as a lesson that don't press the brakes, it's all gas. Next up. Next, we have Ashley Foxworth.
I'm gonna follow those same sentiments and say this program was not an easy one. I'm an educator by occupation and I speak to children. My passion is children, but this has pushed me to go beyond the classroom and to get in the community to make sure I affect change at every level and not just with students. I didn't know what to expect either. I was sweating bullets in my interview. During the final presentation, I was a mess just because I wanted to make sure that that community enhancement plan was delivered so that they knew, you know, we can be our own support. We can be our own just force to change the community in the way that we need to. We don't need to wait on anyone else. So I'm grateful to TOBA for providing me with these people, these leaders, these people who just every week James was in my ear, pushing me, asking me what I thought about the different things that were going on, asking me about all of the different, you know, issues that our community is facing, and then not only what is it about, but what am I going to do about it now that it's been landed in my lap? And I'm just so grateful to have this support system so we can all push forward for our progress.
Yes.
Next up, we have Ms. Georgie Franks.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you upset with blue? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, like hope springing high. Still,
I rise.
I rise. And definitely want to bask in this moment with all of you. Still, we rise. We have so much in store. I remember going to one of my friends in Eastern Hillsborough County saying, I want to make a difference in the Black community. I want to stand up. I want to have a voice. I want to learn how to be a better servant and a leader. And his name was Mark Oliver. And he said, you know what? You need to meet this guy I know called Gary Hartfield. Little did I know that it was going to lead to an opportunity like this, where week after week I'd be challenged to be better, to rise up and show that I can use my voice for my community in a way that I never knew I could. And I just want to thank all of you for challenging me, my groups that I was paired with for seeing bigger than I could have ever thought I could see, having vision to impact this community and the world. So thank all of you for everything you've done.
Thank you, George. I will say you were right on track with your Maya Angelou excerpt of her poem, Still I Rise, because I'll share a little bit more later. So, you know, the spirit's in the room. All right. Next up, I have Ms. Kimberly Houston.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am so honored to stand here before you all. This has been an amazing, very amazing opportunity. I believe we have built relationships that we can foster for a lifetime. The one thing that I will take away from this institute amongst many things is the color of law. In that book, I learned so many things that was never taught to me in this lifetime. To know that we were systemically suppressed, oppressed, but yet we rise as African Americans,
Yes.
that says a lot about who we are. And I am so empowered to be a part of making that change, moving the needle, and making that impression within the community with you all. And I look forward to the next chapter that we'll write together.
Yes.
All right, now, if y'all keep getting up here preaching, we're gonna have to pass the plate around. We're gonna have to play offering, all right? All right, next up, we have Mr. Trey Johnson.
How y'all doing? I didn't come with something prepared specific, but what I did want to touch on is kind of first how I figured out about TOBA. So a friend of mine from Simeon Hills. So I work in the financial services industry, and my company that I work with is pretty whitewashed. There's one person that came in with me that was also African American. His name is Simeon. He told me about TOBA. He went through it last year. He said it was something that I should do. I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't realize, like everybody said, how hard it was going to be. One of the main things I learned was time management and how to manage my time. And it's crazy how God works, because one of the things that I really wanted in 2021 was to find out how I can create a better environment around myself, to make myself be able to put myself in a position that I can be influential to everybody that I come in contact with. And it gave me this idea of a championship environment, and that's being able to have a collective group of individuals, different mindsets, different backgrounds, different perspectives, all focused on a common goal. And I've been praying, trying to figure out where I can find that at and why I have so much pride in Tampa. Like, TOBA gave me that reason of why I have so much pride in Tampa and why I love a championship environment, and it forced some people to get kicked out of my life and put more people in that place, so that way I can propel myself into a better position. And I look so much forward to being able to connect with everyone and being able to grow with everyone and being able to climb to the top and really change Tampa for the better. Because what we have and what we're sitting on is truly a gold mine. And people are finally starting to realize the value that's in Tampa. And we need to make sure that we don't get left behind when they come and bring that value here. So that was really the main thing that I got from it. And also thank you to y'all for even accepting me into it. This is not something that is, guaranteed. I'm sure there were people that were declined, and I'm extremely appreciative that I was accepted. And once again, I see my mom's name on there. So of course, shout out to my mom. Again, I love that woman to death. But yeah, I look forward to growing with all of y'all. I look forward to staying connected, and let's grow and let's be great and really change the city of Tampa.
Okay, Trey.
Let's try to get like this.
Listen, I'm gonna send everybody out at this point.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm checking and savings and connecting to it. All right, next up, we have Ms. Cleo. Ms. Cleo Martin.
Right, we are at the end, kind of, sort of, right? So I just wanted to first say thank you to Jayla for bringing this opportunity to me and pushing me to go after it, because I wasn't. I grew up watching my dad be a part of so many things in the community. So by default, I like to say I was already a community activist growing up, but never did I actually have the opportunity to take the wheel into my own hands and drive a car. It's always been in the backseat by default. And ultimately, life has always been something that was planned out. I knew where I was going. I knew why I was going there. And coming into TOBA, coming into TLI specifically, has thrown a wrench into my plans a little bit. I walked away from our first activity, the debate activity. Y'all remember that good. I walked away from it questioning, like, should I be trying to be bipartisan? I don't know who I am anymore. I was really trying to understand who I am. And ultimately, that's been every single challenge we have been faced with in this program. But coming out of it, I truly feel rooted in just not necessarily knowing what my next step is, because I'm more concerned now about my environment and about the people I'm connected to and the people who hear me and the people who are watching me, the children that are looking at me, as opposed to what my next exact step is. I've always been so calculated up until now. So thank you. Thank you so much for challenging me, because I don't necessarily what God has next for me, but I know something great and I'm excited and I'm just here and ready to be used however he needs me.
Come on now.
So thank you.
You got to.
Before I call the next name, I'm standing a little longer so I get some of that oil. Listen, the impact from what Trey said to what you said,
Yes.
you have to make sure you surround yourself around people that will pour into you and create opportunities for you. You need sponsors, you need people that will open those doors for you. And the biggest thing, the last takeaway that I have for you, Cleo, was when you said you had a plan. And now you don't know what that is, but you know what God has for you. But the thing of it is it's the beauty in being flexible and adaptable, because you're not stuck in that box. You're able to move.
Yes.
So always be flexible, because your plan could change. You can have a detour, but the end in mind is still the goal.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have Ms. Sarah Moore.
Woo woo.
Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I just want to give glory and honor to God, who is the head of my life. Leadership programs like this take a lot of drive, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and the fact that we are here today at this very moment, I think it speaks volumes on our willingness to serve in our communities. As you know, I don't really speak much. I really try to speak only when I have something of value or substance to say. So I'm gonna try to keep this brief, but I'll say this. In 2019, I ran for St. Pete City Council, and I'll say it really took a toll on my spirit as a woman and as a leader. I didn't know who I was supposed to be, what I was called to do anymore, but I'll definitely say this. Being in TOBA has really inspired me, it's empowered me, and I'm committed to progress. I'm committed to change in our communities, and I know that we have all been crafted for a calling, we've been wired for work, and I know that passion does turn into purpose, and so I thank you all have poured into me, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity, so thank you.
All right, next up, we have Ms. Faith Fuller.
Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. Y'all know I don't get nervous often, but today I found myself a little anxious on the way here. I was like, what's the hell about? All the stuff that y'all put us through. I would say, as I was thinking about what I was going to say this morning, the thing that came to me was, and we've heard so much about God, but I got to say it. The Bible says that a man chooses in his heart what way he's going to go, but God directs his paths. Man, woman, whatever. And so before this opportunity came up, I had been praying. I was like, gosh, I got to do more. I want to do more. I don't know what the next step is. I had reached out to some people about maybe serving on some different boards and different things like that, because I knew that from my own, like in your little microsphere, the work that we were trying to do as a group, I just needed to do more. And I was on LinkedIn and I saw the ad for TOBA, not ad, but, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna apply for this. I had no clue what to expect. Like everybody has said, when I got to the interview, I was like, oh my gosh, it was this. But after really, Mr. Ransom, you spoke so passionately about what we can do collectively and not wanting to be about the individual, but about the group and what we can do. And I left that interview and I was like, I gotta get in, I gotta be a part of this. Because that was the piece that I was looking for, right? That was the direction that God was putting into it. So through TOBA, the content has been amazing. I mean, when you go into an experience, we all bring in our own level of expertise, but if you come in with a humble spirit, like I can grow, this program from TOBA has been that. I mean, every single week I was like, gosh, I don't know what's next. I'm taking notes and going back. I'm talking to him, talking to my family, talking to my friends. And I'm like, oh, you're not gonna believe it, I wish you'd be here. So I just wanna thank you all for the opportunity. I mean, it really is amazing. And to my cohort members to be able to be in a room with such great Black talent. Like, we're here and we're together. I know in my life, I didn't go to an HBCU, so most of my schooling, that has not been my experience. So to be with you all has been amazing. I think everybody in this cohort is just so dynamic. So I'm just excited, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to see what we all do next. Love GroupMe, and love what y'all put in there, and love just getting little pop-ups here and there. So thank you again to the board, thank you to the committee. You guys are amazing. I'll show my y'all are so on point with the organization and just every.
I'll tell y'all a little trick. I mean, we said 1 to 2 minutes, you know, brief, but I mean, if you're talking real good, we might let you slide. But all right, next up, we have Ms. Brittany Richards. All
right, good morning, y'all. Good morning. So initially, I was not going to apply. I've been doing these kinds of programs for probably like the last 6-7 years. And I was burnt out, and I went through a career change and COVID. So a friend of mine was like, you should do this. You love Tampa. You'll be perfect for this program. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Just have too much going on. I don't have the time to commit to it. It's going to be all these smart people applying. I'm not going to get it. I'm going to be mad. And she was like, no, you got it. This is perfect for you. And I think like the day before, I think I submitted the application, something like that, really close to the wire. And it was divine intervention. I was supposed to do that. I'm so glad I did it. Out of all of the cohort programs I have done, TOBA has been the best from top to bottom. You guys do an amazing job putting this together. Just being in the room with you guys has been influential for me, and I'm sure for you guys as well. Push me beyond my comfort zone. If you know I'm not good with speaking, I'm reserved. Y'all keep putting me in groups with Sarah. She's reserved. We had the struggle. So a lot of times we're just looking at each other like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm like, put me in the room with Cleo. Put me with Dave. So we're looking at each other like, we lost a man. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. This girl stayed up till 3 in the morning, a million nights, and you know, a little pat on the back. We did good. So I'll leave you guys with, y'all just know how much I love this city. I'm born and raised at General Hospital, March 17th, 1237. So Tampa Bay is in my blood. East Tampa is my roots. I will, to stop breathing, I will be a leader in this community. And I'm excited to see what I and the rest of you guys go on to do. Come on.
All right, next up, we have Ms. Lauren Rucker.
I realized I have to push through it. My background is actually finance operations. It wasn't until I got my job a couple months ago in fundraising that I became a client-facing person. So thank you all for pushing me out of my shell. I think the one thing I want to take away from this is that I have always been a person that knew all the information. I knew all the historical facts. I knew what has happened to us as a people here, but I really couldn't find a way to relay the information, show the data, and be able to articulate to a wide audience what is needed. So I appreciate you all allowing me into the Tampa Bay community to let me know how you guys do it here, because I'm not from here. So the fundraising aspect of my job requires me to go out and see what the people are like, what they need. And you all are kind of just been this hub of information, and they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, I'm in the right room. You all have let me know a lot. So, thank you so much, to the chairs, and James, thank you for allowing me to, come with facts. So kind of removing emotion from the strife we've been through as people and coming with facts and having those facts, allow you to be accountable and allow us to be accountable as well. So, go now.
All right, next up, we have Miss Octavia Smith.
So y'all know I had to come prepared. They always try to put little bombs, but, right? Don't be prepared, don't be prepared. Mother Teresa said, we don't need bombs and guns to destroy to bring peace. Just get together, love one another, bring that peace, that joy, that strength and presence of each other in the home. And we will be able to overcome all the evil that is in the world. This is what I have learned at the TOBA Leadership Institute. Over the past few weeks, we have embodied the Kwanzaa principle, Ujima, and collectively acquired knowledge about the responsibility, getting a little misty. This has been a very full experience for me, and y'all don't know how much I enjoyed it, so I'm gonna start again and collect myself. We have embodied the Kwanzaa principle, Ujima, and collectively acquired knowledge about the responsibility to expect greater and better, not only for ourselves, but for the community of Tampa Bay in which we live. Today, I am overwhelmed with gratitude to have been afforded this opportunity to have had such a wonderful few months to share with like-minded individuals, to think about big problems and come up with some practical solutions to solve them. I appreciate more and more the icebreaker from our first session that made us think beyond what words we could create from our letters and our names, but rather what kind of unified strength and resolve we could harness from our unique individual talents and skills. Much love to TKO Collective. To Mr. Hartfield, Uncle James, the respective of TOBA, the TLI Host Committee, and all of our corporate partners, thank you for investing in me and standing firm and committing to create an equitable community that has allowed myself and my colleagues to benefit. Thank you for making TOBA a place to find belonging and home, to be nurtured to become the leaders we were meant to be. I truly believe this experience will allow us to stand together unified to right what is wrong, not only in Tampa Bay, but in the world.
Y'all came prepared today. You ain't gonna say y'all was really speaking book. All right, so next up, no shade. Candace Stevens.
Good morning, I am Candace Stevens. I want to say I'm forever blessed to have been a part of the legacy of TOBA. Not being from Tampa, being from Jacksonville, Florida, I moved here in 2017, and I felt like I don't know this city, I don't know this community. And so I sought out opportunities to join nonprofit organizations that can help me to be able to develop as a professional and as an individual as a whole. I have been pushed far beyond my comfort zone. I'm a very quiet person. I typically sit back and observe. I don't say much. I don't speak in front of people, but this has challenged me to do all of those things that I'm not comfortable doing. I would say now I know that there's more that I need to do. There's more that we all have to do. I tell myself all the time, sometimes we have to step off the scene to accomplish a dream. I truly believe when we step away from the limelight and we put other priorities in place, we can really excel and advance as a people. I always feel that I'm not doing enough, and TOBA showed me that there is so much more work to be done. Thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you so much for the cohort for pushing me. Thank you to my group, TKO Collective, for just dealing with me. Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I brought a lot of emotions to the table, but it showed me how to develop as a professional and develop as a person and be able to strengthen in those areas where I'm weak. I would like to say I'm thankful for this opportunity. I would love to continue to serving with TOBA and also hopefully maybe in the near future as a committee member.
Again, thank you to everyone. I look forward to continuing these healthy relationships and being able to advance in this community even further, excuse me. Thank you.
I don't know about y'all, but it was the legacy for me, the TOBA legacy for me. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Ronnie Bowman.
So I'd like to thank everyone here, especially the executive committee, as well as the coordinators for putting this on. As a Tampa native, I've always been involved in community initiatives and been willing to serve in the community. A few years ago, I moved away to Dallas, Texas, and since moving back to Tampa, I've been very active in diversity and inclusion initiatives on the corporate level. But being a part of this program allowed me to bring it back home. That's very near and dear to me, having come up in the Progress Village, Palmer, Claremont area. There's been a lot of growth and opportunities in that space. A lot of changes that we have seen and a lot of opportunities that are ahead of us. So thank you again, TOBA. Thank you again, cohorts. I look forward to all the future successes that we will achieve together.
Yes. All right, next up, last but not least, Mr. LaKendrick Washington.
So I actually hate going last, but I realized I was doing after the order. But me not being from Tampa, I really appreciate y'all embracing. I really felt like I was part of the team here. There's some phenomenal women, some really incredible women I got to work with. And so I was trying to think of something cool to say, and I was like, they all killing it.
No question.
But no, as I was reflecting on our experience on these last few months, I thought of the analogy of the fingers versus hands. And so each finger has its own purpose, you know, whether you're the thumb, the pinky, but they all serve a purpose in making some change. And so individually, you know, I've volunteered at schools, I've given some talks, and I was able to make some change. But I feel like being part of this team has like allowed me to make impact, because you know, when those hands come together, you can lift each other up, you can hold each other up, you can build each other up, and you can protect each other. And so again, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of that team. So thank you.
All right, so now that everyone has received their gift, we have a little twist. So we have a little twist. So, before that twist, I want to give one more hand to the 2021 cohort class. All right, so now I'll be calling up each team liaison to give an award to their team. And the committee has an interesting twist because we wanted to make it more engaging and more interesting, excuse me. And so without further ado, I'm gonna call the first group, and I'll call the first liaison, and that will be Mr. Gary of Moffitt.
For the Moffitt group, we thought about different things to identify each group and what we brought to the table that was extraordinary. All of your work was extraordinary, but we wanted to think of a superlative and also dig deep into the cultural vernacular and think of some ways to identify the work. So we didn't want to diminish or discount anyone's work, so we thought of a way to do that where we did not any discounting, but also acknowledge the work. So for the Moffitt group, we wanted to recognize the Moffitt group for their culture, for the culture of award. So I'm not exactly sure what Courtney was thinking when she came up with the name, but for the culture, I think the strength of Phelan and Lauren and Faith, they were able to represent. And and what we identified what was for the culture. So to the Martha Group for Phelan, Faith and Lauren, if you will come forward, I'd like to present you with your awards.
We will have a soul train line.
Yes. Where particular to do this? Good. Yeah. Phelan needs another moment.
All right, Phelan. Yes.
But if you guys know my background, I'm a nurse right now, and I'm transitioning into some other things, and I'm working like crazy. But I'm very, very comfortable with strong female leadership. And you guys have definitely exhibited that. But why do y'all tell us no so much? As I'm doing this project, I'm throwing out ideas. The faith is like, no faith. And I had another idea, and Lauren was like, no faith, no. But at the same time, I was able to teach them some things.
Yes.
With my healthcare background, I was able to expose Faith, as smart as she is, and talk to the class. And because I'm working on my public speaking, I was able to share some stuff with Lauren to build her confidence as well. So this is a tough thing, it's a work in progress. And again, we're here to serve our community. I've been in Tampa 20 years. I had no idea the things that I've seen the past 3 months. So relationships we built, the things I prepared, $125 for this curriculum, for this network opportunity, for food. God bless it. Exactly. So thank you to our leadership. There's a movie called Facing the Giants that talks about the struggles that someone went through. He felt he had a bad morning. Maybe that was bad phone calls, people dropping out and whatever, and he just couldn't take it anymore. So he took a walk. He was a football coach at high school. He took a walk in the locker room and ran into a spiritual advisor. The spiritual advisor told him a story about the 2 farmers and their drought. And one farmer kept tilling his field, kept preparing. The other farmer was laughing at him. "You fool, it's dry here. What are you doing?" Well, that same farmer that kept tilling the fields, the rain came. And it rained and rained and rained. Because he had prepared his fields, everything grew. He flourished. He was able to provide. We don't prepare ourselves, how do we expect to be able to provide? So continue to prepare your fields, ask for help, and definitely show appreciation. So thank you all for giving me, and let's press forward.
Thank you. Man and I.
All right, next up, we have the Suncoast Group, and I will be calling Rhiannon Reck.
All right, hi, everybody.
Hey.
For those of us online and those of our guests in the room, I'm Rhiannon Ray, and I'm a graduate of the 2020 TOBA Leadership Institute. Now, I do want to say, before I hop in introducing my group, that you guys got advance notice. We were eating and enjoying our graduation when they're like, "Oh, come up for 3 minutes and speak now about your experience."
Indeed.
So y'all were
Thank you.
But wow, I came up last year terrified. I do remember some key points that I hit on, and I wanted to share them with you briefly. So one of them is that we're all in here as a result of the vision of someone else. So the TLI experience was the vision of people long ago who are getting to see this come to fruition. Also, some of us might be in here because someone told us about TLI. And maybe they saw something in us that sometimes we don't see in ourselves. And for me, that was Courtney, and I shouted her out last year. I did not ever imagine being a part of a leadership program. I feel like I have a lot of imposter syndrome in just a lot of different areas of life. And even in race, sometimes I feel imposter syndrome. So I want to thank, Courtney for looping me in. And I want to challenge you guys that it does not end today. And you might not be someone who goes out there and is super loud and super in front of people. It might be in those private conversations. It might be speaking up in a meeting. And now this goes into my tie-in for our group today, the Suncoast Credit Union group. They really, and I'm trying not to get emotional, a dream that I had that from last year, they really are bringing it to fruition, and they thought bigger than I was able to think. And it was hard. It was very hard, I'm sure. And I just want to say that's the power of community, that's the power of collaboration. That's the power of having a conversation or speaking up in those private areas or in those private meetings, because now Suncoast Credit Union is a partner and a proud supporter of the TOBA Leadership Institute and the Suncoast Academy for Financial Empowerment. So the two ladies, Brittany and Sarah, we present you with the 2 Live Crew Awards.
I don't know how we got this award, we're not live at all. Shout out to my partner, y'all, support me to earn a little.
All right, next up, I'm gonna call CT Harris. That's me. I'm gonna call myself back to the podium so that I can introduce the Palm River Group. And I want y'all to know, so I had a quote that I think serves the epitome of what working together can do. And it says, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. We talked about TOBA today, and we've talked about how we can advance forward if we come together. It's not about what Ronnie can do, what Ashley could do, what Jasmine could do. It was about what they did together. When working in teams, it does not always start off very smooth. It can be rocky because you're merging different personalities. The biggest thing that I want you all to understand, I've shared this earlier, was the fact that you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to work across all boardrooms, playing fields. You got to be able to work even with your spouse. You know, for those of you who are married, you know what I'm talking about. You do. And it's a challenge sometimes working with different personalities. But if we work together, that's when we get the greatest success. And a lot of times you can approach a group situation and everybody has their own ideology about what that end in mind looks like. But I want to say that I'm proud of the Palm River group because they collectively came together and created what they considered their Black utopia, and 2 of them were from those areas. And Ronnie spoke about it earlier, just being able to give back into the community, and Ashley spoke about it as well regarding education. And I think it's imperative just to bring it home to not only be flexible, but be able to shift your paradigm, your thinking, and your ability to understand that if we really want to create a Black utopia, we have to have people on both sides of the lane. We have to work with different races. We have to work with different people that don't look like us, don't think like us, don't even speak like us. I use Google Translator all the time, and you never know. But it's because I'm trying to reach a different audience, and I may not be well versed. So I like to say that the Palm River group definitely came through. And I want to let y'all know, if you're looking for the money, you know, because that budget that they came up with, the budget by far, I mean, literally, I mean, it was big. But did you see the breakdown? Did you see? Okay. Ronnie, did they see the breakdown? Did they see the breakdown? All right, they see the breakdown. So what I'd like to say is thank you, Ronnie and Ashley, for your contribution to where you are from, and thank you for accepting the feedback. At times, I know sometimes it can be challenging, but I thank you guys for your hard work. I thank you for your dedication, your persistence. And without further ado, let me tell y'all, the Palm River group, well, in recognition for having the strongest financial plan, DJ, where the money resides award. Oh my God. The strongest financial plan. Wow. What are we have a financial plan? All right. Next up, we have the university area group. And I will be calling none other than the incomparable. Come on, the bad, Mr. Ricky Vernon.
University area. Let me tell you what, all of you represented in a certain way. I just love your dream. I loved your imagination. What was it? 100 acre takeover. The James Ransom Garden. You were speaking to Dr. Umar Johnson. You were speaking to P. Diddy. Like, I mean, that sounds amazing. It's funny because it's something we want to do, but that can't happen. Or can it happen? I mean, let's be honest. Dr. Umar Johnson has been here numerous times throughout the years. In St. Pete and Tampa having speaking engagements. So we might be connected here. He didn't name a group specifically from his experience in Tampa Bay area. So what we have to understand is sometimes it's not that the dream is out of reach. It's that our limited thinking is causing us to be in a box. We have to understand that over the years as Black people, we have been in trials, tribulations. We have had people who have oppressed us. And at some points, we have believed that we are only able to do certain things. But let me tell you what, we have access to these big fish. But the way to get to that is to stop operating in small teams.
Come on.
So we got to understand that we need people like George and Isaac and Kendrick who know how to dream big, who know that it requires us to possibly do something that someone says is out of reach for us. Because every incremental step takes us closer to that. I remember watching Boomerang in an interview that Eddie Murphy had said, that's not realistic to have firms in which there's all Black people. But guess what? We're in today, 2021, and we're celebrating that very thing. People didn't think that a Black superhero would fail. But guess what? That's the biggest comic book character in history. Wakanda. A fantasy land, right? It's a fantasy land, but guess what? It's a realistic perspective of how we need to operate in Black excellence and pride and being connected to our culture. So people who aren't even Black want to be part of Wakanda. But it's about Black celebration. And every single key item on their presentation was about Black excellence and how we can bring that into our own stratosphere. So for that, I want to just commend you all for not only keeping me in check, for not thinking big enough, but keeping all of us in check and challenging us to think outside the box. So for you all, we are going to present the Wakanda Forever. Oh, I'm sorry.
So we did dream big when we created our project, but we read the fine print and said unlimited resources. And so the understated thing about our project is that we feel like those unlimited resources would be reality, but for like instances of the color. Black people are intentionally being separated for decades, for centuries, from that ability to grow well, to develop well, to pass that on to generations. And if we had those opportunities, it would be more than $51 million that we would have to circulate. So thank you again.
Right. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I've been in conference and church. I've been going back and forth in between. I mean, when Brother Ricky came up here and, you know, he could podium. Up doors of the church were open.
They was open.
They was open wide, wasn't it?
Come on in.
Come on in. Okay, next up, without further ado, I'm gonna bring Mr. Jeremy himself, the epitome of community service, Mr. West Tampa.
Why you got to go mind Ricky, man? So just like I say, ditto. Yes, So first and foremost, I'd like to say congratulations to all the groups Trey, Candace, and Octavia. Did I say it right that time?
Yes.
Yeah, I know like the thing I said Octavia, and I felt bad. Also known as TKO. You guys really put on for the community of West Tampa. You guys actually went into the trenches of West Tampa and formulated a partnership with Conan Barbecue and had an event there where you guys brought out the community. You guys had I think community stakeholders there. You guys were talking to the community and getting their perspective on what they think West Tampa should be versus just us just coming up with something. You guys showed dedication and commitment. You guys made your ideas vivid and very clear. Your ideas and imagination should be turned into objectives for the community and the community stakeholders. I want to say I was honored to be you guys' liaison. I hope that you stay connected, if not with us, at least each other, because like Representative Diane Hart said, Tampa needs you. And without further ado, I want to present the Put On for the City/Community Award.
Okay, cool speech.
I wanted to speak something too. I've been getting hit in the head a lot for the past 20 years, so I can forget stuff sometimes. I wanted to definitely give a special shout out to TKO. What y'all taught me and just kind of having that community within the community really helped me get to where I needed to be and have our presentation go so smoothly. Octavia, you being the mom of the group, being able to always be prepared, always making us go the extra mile, making me stay up past my 10 o'clock bedtime. Keep working. And then of course, Candace, really being the organizer of the group and being able to keep my ranting and our wild thoughts and being able to make them concise and being able to make it to where we can explain it to other people and it doesn't seem so random. And that was very, very beneficial. And what y'all did for me will forever be in my heart. And I really got love for y'all and greatly appreciate everybody. And I love our culture just in general when it comes to Black people. And I haven't been able to experience an event like this in a very long time. Because like I said, I've been around a lot of the beige folk for a while. But, being able to come in here and have fun, and really, have nothing but love and be surrounded by it. I really appreciate y'all. I really thank all of y'all.
All right. So they say save the best for last. Ooh, somebody said ooh. But no, thank you. I got support here. But without further ado, this group is near and dear to my heart because Trevor and I actually served this area last year together, and that's when I really learned she was a powerhouse. So I can only imagine why they showed up the way they did, their shirts and stuff. They did. And they paid for them. But all jokes aside, I'd like to welcome Miss East Tampa, Miss Trevora, to the stage, podium, to this.
I'm gonna walk on a quick tangent real quick. Last year when I had started TLI, I was transitioning from my 11 years of military service in the Army. And I believed that I was a leader, but I knew that there was still some progress that I needed to make so that I can truly serve my community outside of the military. I thank TOBA for continuing to push me and nurture me as a leader. Last year, when we had to give those impromptu speeches, I'm pretty sure I broke out in hives and I was sweating profusely by the time I got up here. I had told Ricky a few weeks ago that one of my goals is to be a great public speaker. And he stopped me right there and said, "You already are." So thank you for that. Thank you for TOBA, and thank you everyone in this room for continuing just to push me and help me grow. So at this point, there has already been so much said about this exceptional cohort and the work that you have done and the work that you will continue to do. Cleo Martin, Kimberly Houston, and Morgan Blunt have shown their level of excellency and their strength individually, but most important as a group working together to deliver. Their final presentation was flawless, giving a glimpse of their brilliancy and creativity. And as TT said, we all remember the matching t-shirts and their dedication to the community to benefit every brown-skinned girl and boy. Standing here, I just have deja vu of their strong presentation. Yes. Their work was irreplaceable. Yes. And listen, I don't know about y'all, but I want to get information behind these ladies' ideas and really go out and create change. Today, I am honored to present this award to you three, the Beyonce Award. Yes. Shout out to the group. Yes. We work so well together. I have to give a shout out to these two because I can be very intense. I think we all are very intense, but you know, like all of our ideas and everything just came together just flawlessly. So I just like shout out to the group. We just really enjoy working with each other, and we just really hope to see Ethic really just come to light. So we believe in our project and plan and what we can do for East Campus. So speaking to the fact that Ethic will come to light, I absolutely enjoyed working with these ladies. Every single step of the way, it was emotional, but yet very strategic. There were times where it was very challenging and very difficult, but we were absolutely always striving to do better than what we thought was expected. So that was our personal goal, that was our aim. And now looking at what we were able to accomplish together, I literally can touch the bricks of the building Ethic. And that is literally chilling to me because it's exciting. Like my work has yet to stop. This was literally the groundbreaking opportunity for us to step into that next position of ribbon cutting and opening the doors to this facility. And it's all of its services to the community. So I'm absolutely excited. I can't wait to throw a little party in the theater with y'all. I look forward to inviting you all to Ethic and having our different hubs with Moffitt, with the credit union. Like we absolutely can formulate this project, and it's something very tangible now to us. So thank you. That's
All right. Did y'all enjoy the team awards? Woo! All right, let's give each team and I'd like to thank each liaison for introducing their group. So next, I'd like to take this moment and share with everyone in this room that I'm so inspired by each of your experiences you shared regarding the impact of the TOBA leadership. As the committee began developing the syllabus for the Leadership Institute, we envisioned the end in mind. With this vision, it was imperative to establish what we wanted the cohort to achieve through the program this year. Our greatest hope and deepest desire was to inspire, empower, and prepare a new generation of leaders. Leaders who would be bold, courageous, and critical thinkers. Leaders we knew with the right tools and resources who could improve the Black communities in Tampa Bay, AKA Tampa Bay. Well, we wanted to accomplish that through a comprehensive knowledge of political action, innovation, community, and economic development. Our vision for the TOBA Leadership Institute is to become the top producer of innovative business and community leaders whose focus is building and developing sustainable Black communities throughout the Tampa Bay area. I'm confident I can speak for the rest of the committee when I say we are extremely proud to be here with you today celebrating your graduation. The tenacity and resilience you all demonstrated until the very end, the time you dedicated, all the sacrifices made to bring your very best to every session, and the content in your final presentations is a true testament to the character you all possess as strong leaders. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with an excerpt from a poem by Maya Angelou. And the funny thing is that you know when you're aligned when she's already spoken about Still I Rise. We've already talked about rising. So I contemplated on leaving this excerpt out, but I knew when Georgia came up and spoke about it, it was destined. And I think I heard someone say divine intervention. Was that right? All right, somebody. So it goes a little something like this. Just leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Cohort 2021, as you embark on this journey, I challenge you to rise. As you run for office, I challenge you to rise. If you are the only African American in the room, I challenge you to rise. When you are tired of doing the work and it gets tough, I challenge you to rise. When you can't see the light, I still challenge you to rise. I challenge you to rise for your ancestors. I challenge you to rise for your children and their children and their children's children, because it's legacy. Graduation is today, but your work will continue. And we look forward to seeing the impact that you will make, not only in Tampa Bay, but as Ricky spoke about earlier, about the vision is bigger, we look forward to seeing the impact that you will make in this world. So I tell you, before I hand it over, that the time is now. And I ask each of you today, if not you, then who? Wow. I'm now going to turn it over to Mr. Gary Hartfield, the chair of the Leadership Institute, to close out today's ceremony with a few remarks. Gary.
Wow. Proud. So what I've learned over over the years is a candle loses nothing of its light by lighting another candle. So if I have nothing to add on to what has been eloquently stated by each of you, know that my candle burns within. I will ask that our board members, Mr. Ransom, Dr. Shannon, and Mr. Harris come forward and share any closing remarks that they may have.
Good afternoon. I am tremendously impressed with all that you have done and what you have said. Last week this time, I was in St. Paul, Minnesota. I had a chance to visit while there, George Floyd Memorial in Minneapolis. And that was it's a gut-wrenching kind of feeling to be there at that facility. I also had a chance last Saturday afternoon to attend a ceremony. Well, there was actually an event called Rondo, and James knows about Rondo in St. Paul, Minnesota. There were some very good leaders from the community, and even the governor was there to celebrate Rondo. That's what Black people were doing at St. Paul. Started many years ago, celebrating Rondo. The leadership for the Black community was very evident. To have the mayor and particularly the governor of the state at such an event. I see you being such leaders, guiding our various communities in Tampa, the Tampa Bay area, state of Florida, and some of you throughout the world. You've shown through your efforts here that you have the leadership capabilities and you're going to exhibit that. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
I had definitely expected or prepared anything to say, but I do want to share a couple of comments. I like history, and I try to look at whatever I'm experiencing in the scope of history because time is a straight continuum. And if you can figure out where you are and your perspective on that continuum and accept that that's what it is, oftentimes you can predict where you need to go, where you've been. There's a statement my stepdad used to always say whenever I thought I was getting too smart. He'd say, a man must walk a long way down a road before he can look back and see where he's been, and then he'll see where he's going. This is the embodiment of that continuum. TOBA has finally reached a place where we've done enough to look back and see where we're going. You all are where we are going. The most important factor in that is wherever you go, you add to that continuum. You move it forward. You don't accept it for where it is, but you make it, take it to some other place. When I was graduating from law school, we had 4 Black males in my graduating class. And I charged up to the dean because you couldn't say nothing before you graduated, you didn't want to grades. So now I graduated, and I went to the dean, and I said, Dean, this has to be changed. And she said, yes, what are you going to do about it? And that's been one of the things I've worked on throughout my adult career as a lawyer, working on putting more African Americans, specifically into law school. I just say to you, seize the moment to add to the continuum. Do not let this be your landing spot. Because the other thing I want to point out is we think of a lot of things as just happening. We think of the civil rights movement as just happening. When you go look at and study E.D. Du Bois, George Washington Carver, some of the great early philosophers about the African American culture and community, they put in building blocks that later on could become Martin Luther King and Ralph Abernathy, some of the other people that actually did the things that needed to be done. You're one of those building blocks for what's next. Today, we're talking about leadership, but next we may be talking about a financial institute. We may be talking about the other academic institutes that will drive our community into a whole different space than we fully know. So accept that you're a building block, that continuum of time that will take us where we want to go. Congratulations, everybody.
So I'm speaking from 42 years ago. That's where I'm from. And I can tell you that I was in the room when it happened. And so being young when it happened and listening to people tell me and those of us who were young in the room with them that it could happen was what I heard 42 years ago. So I come from that perspective. I heard everybody talking today about, not about me, like about you, except your experience with TOBA. You really talked about we, you talked about us. And that's the real issue here that we have to face all the time is who we are and what are we doing. And the collective body here, from the founder's perspective, that would be Attorney Bob Morrison, Attorney Dylan Stewart, and Dave McQuaid. Remember them. These are the people that we follow because they're the ones who had the vision. And then Corrine Collins, who was a founding board member, had the vision of this particular idea of the TOBA Leadership Institute. Clint kind of was going to carry it on, and we got Gary on board, and let's give Gary a hand. I mean, as a board. We're proud of Gary. What we do is we're sitting in the back of the room, and we're watching Carrie and Courtney and Jalen, and we're watching all of the folks that just been last year that are now helping to be leaders for all of you. That is what this is about. It's about passing the baton, creating the next TOBA board members, creating the next leaders who can be a part of public policy boards, be a part of companies that spend money, our economics together, build our political, social, economic interests together. So we don't have to wait for someone to come save us. Who are you waiting for to save you? You have your own money, spend money with each other, build up one another. So I just want to congratulate you also. They've said it all. I'm just going to sit down. Appreciate the idea of a garden meeting of me and Gary. That was really nice. But you all are incredible. And this is not a conversation to just come and get some awards and so forth. It's more than that. If you leave here today with just feeling good about having accomplished what you've done so far, understand that this is a foundation to begin doing something greater than this. It cannot be the splash and the crash. It's got to be some work. And you have to be focused. And we're going to be here for you to help continue to develop these great ideas. All right. We're very proud of everybody here. Thank you very much.
TLI Committee, if you'd like, please come forward and please add your comments to what is already a significant and beautiful bag of remarks. So if you will, for the committee, will you come forward? Any closing remarks from the committee? Anyone?
I'll go ahead and talk.
Thank you.
That's back.
Just gonna keep it short and sweet. Try not to break out in hives and just say, you know, it's been a pleasure to be a part of this opportunity to look at you all grow, watch all of us grow. I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens next. Congratulations, you guys did an excellent job.
I just want to say that I'm really proud of every single one of you. I know it was not easy, and I know the final project was kind of hard to vision at the beginning, but you all did a great job with bringing your visions to life. And I'm excited to see what the next step is for you individually and the ideas that you came up with, because there's been a lot of excitement that's been gathered around those ideas.
And I love seeing spaces like this where Black excellence can come together and, put our ideas together for the betterment of the community. And yeah, I'm just excited to see, what happens for TLI next year, and all of us moving forward to the future. So congratulations, guys.
You guys already know you're amazing. I don't think we can say that enough, but you guys are amazing, and I'm really proud of you all for stepping up. Shout out to the Suncoast group for showing up and showing out. 2 live crew. But no, just to celebrate our committee, I would also like to speak to that. This was a lot of work, but I want to give a special shout out to our committee's fearless leader, Ms. Carrie Knoll. With responding to her emails. She puts a lot of work and time crafting those emails. So we just appreciate her for all of her leadership and keeping us all in check. We need that a lot. So thank you, Carrie, and to the committee. Good work, guys. Once again, we did it. And to go off your point, you guys will be up here next year, hopefully involved. Hopefully it doesn't stop here, that you take the things you learn so we can improve the next cohort as well. The goal is to continuously get better, not to hold our knowledge to ourselves, but to share it. So I'm sure more to come on that.
Yes, I will say, sorry, I've heard people ask what's next. There will be committees that we need people to sign up for. So, of course, you'll receive the communication on that, but I hope that, most of you can stay involved in some way, shape, or form.
And you do all have a pin in your bag. It's wrapped up in tissue paper, so I just want to make sure you don't toss that.
And for both of those points, what I want to make sure that everyone here knows, because I did hear a lot of transparency about what you all felt were not your strongest. What I want you to understand is that to be in a place of progress, you don't have to necessarily exemplify perfection. So the places that you feel that you are not your strongest, your other teammates are there to be able to strengthen you and to be able to build you up. And what you are strong in, that is maybe where they're weak in. So that's what we have. We have a collective that are unified, that are able to build one another up and create a solution for a shared goal. So what she's going to do is have you part of the committee. You may not feel as if you're qualified, but let me tell you what, because you have the drive, the commitment, and the ability, the initiative to want to do more, we will always work with you all to make sure that you are able to create progress, create change. So definitely be a part of that.
So I'm just gonna say, stay connected, not just with the organization, but with each other. Some of you guys have different organizations, jobs, initiatives. We got community service cleanups going on. We got other community events going on. Get connected with each other, support each other, because that's what this really should be about, is supporting each other, showing up for each other, and really being about what we talk about. So make sure you guys don't lose, I know you're in those groups for the project, but don't lose contact, check on each other, work together, and really make it do what it do.
Okay, so a couple of things that we want you to take away. Know that if you're interested in Leadership Tampa or a leadership development program, we have resources to invest to help you go through those programs as well. If that's Leadership Florida, we also have resources and individuals that we can reach out to help you transition to a Leadership Tampa and or a Leadership Florida. So the journey starts here, doesn't end here, it starts. So in addition, also know that we are seriously looking at different ways to keep everyone engaged throughout the year. So there's going to be a tremendous amount of work. The board and I will continue to talk about what that looks like. We have a couple of thoughts in mind. I'll share with you one of them. we're looking at, and I hadn't presented it to the board, or at least the full board yet, doing something like First Fridays, where every month there's an initiative, maybe at Hotel Hyatt. The first 2 hours is true business, where we talk about dating in the Black community, where we talk about politics in the Black community, where we talk about finances in the Black community, where we talk about the color of law in the Black community, all those things. So for the first 2 hours, it will be business, it will be educational, it will be informational, and then the balance of the time will be truly social network. So that being said, that's one of the possible ideas that I will be pitching to the board. I know we have 31 individuals that we have to figure out how to continue to keep you engaged and help move the needle forward. So that is a tremendous challenge. So as you challenge me, know that the next cohort also gets it, because as you're challenging me, I'm thinking about different ways to make their lives wonderful, like I did for you. You're not laughing with me. So know that the programming that went into it, we needed your help. What we did, it evolved, honestly, on the fly. So it will continue to evolve. We always want to be dynamic in terms of our program. So we'll be asking each of you for your ideas for what went well and how to really push the next cohort to the next level. All right, and anything else, board members?
So to let everybody know, so at some point, you probably gonna hear from Gary through Allison about the TOBA leadership breakfast, for those that might want to be a part of that process, that will come up at some point in the next few weeks.
The leadership breakfast is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to re-engage. Mr. Ransom is the chair of that committee. So no, that is a tremendous opportunity for you to get engaged. So we're looking at doing some big things here as we roll into 2022. So we definitely would ask you to stay engaged and join that committee as well. Anything else? Clint, Dr. Shannon?
Yes, thank you. As the 2022 elections come forward, I would like to solicit the assistance of a few of the members of the cohorts 2020 and 2021 to be a part of our initiative in terms of educating the community about voting, registration, and voting.
Excellent, thank you, Dr. Shannon. Kim, I know your dad came in, so I wanted to recognize him and give him an opportunity to say good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Very good to be here. It's lovely to see what y'all are doing. I think this is a true blessing. Next generation, leading them, guiding them, giving them the tools to work with. It's very powerful.
Thank you. To our photographer, thank you for putting up with us. All right, so we're going to do a group of pictures, and after that group of pictures, you get 12 on. If all hearts and minds are satisfied, thank you and welcome. So we'll end the program with welcome, not with an adjournment. So welcome to the next steps. All right.
Put it more sturdy. Wow. Yes, I would too.
What's up, Dr. Scott? Eric Scott, Mr. Bell, Netta. Thanks for being with us. Hey y'all, hey mama, hey Angela, hey Eric. Thank you, Terry. I can tell my mama, hey. Yes, of course. Gotta recognize. Yes. I was looking at that house back there. Y'all want to say hello?
How you doing?
Just showing them the views. Yes, virtual. Say hello to the virtual audience.
Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Let me go tell them to go come outside.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, yes. Let me go do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. 10 hours. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We'll talk to you later. Bye.